Okay, first, let me start this out because I know some people are going to think I'm hating. I am disappointed that my girl Dawn lost, but shoot, she showed out. So I first want to congratulate Paige Bueckers and the UConn Huskies. They played a great game. Congratulations. They had a great season. Congratulations on your championship. But I want to point out something that Paige, and let me tell you something, Paige is an ally. Another reason I want to shout her out, and I have high respect for her. She's a true ally, and she's a champion of DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. And she sees things, particularly about racial disparities, which is rare. Thank you, Paige, for this. And so I want to talk about how the recent media coverage of the UConn's championship game. And I think it's a perfect example of why diversity, equity, and inclusion is needed. Of course, the women's basketball wouldn't even have the attention that it's had if it weren't for DEI initiatives. But let's just talk about this specific championship season and the championship game. Paige Bueckers was the face of that game. She was the person who was on the front page of ESPN. She was shown all over, but she did not have a great game. She shot 36% and scored 17 points. Meanwhile, two black women on her team outplayed her and contributed more to UConn's win. You had Sara Strong, who had 24 points on 67% shooting and 15 rebounds. And you had Azzi Fudd, also who had 24 points on 53% shooting. So these two were literally and figuratively the stars of the game. The stars of the game, but they did not get the headlines. You did not see their faces when you opened up most sites, particularly ESPN is who I'm calling out right now. And so this is what shows bias in media bias. And so while I believe the people who made the decision to put Paige Bueckers on there doesn't mean that they're racist. It doesn't mean that they probably didn't actively decide, like, we're going to put the white girl there and forget the black girls. Bias is not a thing that typically acts consciously. It's you put the person that you relate to, that looks best to you, that you're drawn to. And typically you're drawn to someone who is similar to you. That's who you think about, right? And that's all of us. And so you're going to put the person that to you looks like the girl next door that has the most appealing look that you are drawn to. And so you have DEI initiatives that will make you say, the last 12 cover stories we did, guess what? It was a white person who was the cover of it, even though there's, how many black players or how many Latino players or how many Asian players or whatever. And so it just reminds you to pay attention, to be fair, to work against your natural bias that we all have. That's all it does. You look at something, you say, maybe I am not being fair. Maybe I'm not being inclusive because the last 20 headlines and accompanying pictures were only on white athletes. So this reminds me that I have to do better because, first of all, I want to give every athlete a chance to be every athlete that's deserving. That's what I say. These players are deserving. DEI was not about ever letting undeserving people get anything. It's pushing us to ensure that we're paying attention to those who are deserving, because oftentimes in life, those people have been looked over. Okay, so you think about this one championship game, and that is what happens to marginalized people day to day in organizations every single day. And DEI was simply just to help that. Just providing an example. And again, congratulations to Paige Bueckers. And also thank you, Paige, for being someone who was able to, within your privilege, to see how you're privileged and to call it out and ask for change. That is true allyship.